to go?
I'm ready. Here we go.
Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Malone Trucker Service Alan Tolliver Show, presented by Critters Corner, where we cover everything on the hardwood with the West Greene Buffaloes basketball team. As always, I'm joined here with Buffaloes head coach Alan Tolliver. We made it out to the hardwood again this week.
Yes, sir.
Here in Jimmy Jones Gymnasium. We just flipped it this week. We were facing that way last week, so
Give you a new backdrop.
got to give everybody a new backdrop, everybody new scenery, show some of the historic teams from the past here at West Greene. You've got a 1983 state tournament boys team, and the 1974, 77, and 79 state tournament teams in the girls. Got some banners up here too. I mean, I'm a little biased. A lot of people and mostly everybody know that I went here, but it's one of my favorite gyms to set foot in just because I'm so used to it, and it feels sort of like home whenever I step in here.
Yeah, there's some memories in here for sure.
There are some memories in here. Advanced PE class.
Yeah.
Advanced PE class is where I have most of my memories. I know for you played basketball.
That was
here.
a wild class.
That was a wild class.
That was a wild class.
Shout out Coach Will. He was in that class too.
He was.
Well, I think
Dude, that was a stacked class.
that was a stacked class for athletes. That was. And then you had some, I can't say what the nickname of one kid we had in here was, but we had some wild non-athletes in here that were just super athletic. You know what I'm talking about when I look up that way,
I like how
too.
you look straight to the spot.
You know what I'm talking about, but stacked class, a lot of memories in here. I know for you, a lot of memories because you were a player here, too.
It's true.
Player went almost, I think, immediately into being an assistant coach. Was there, I don't think there was a year off, was there? Or did you go 1 year in between?
There was 1 year. It wasn't really a full year, though, because
Okay.
I took that first basketball season off. I played adult league in Morristown. It's actually kind of fun.
Always.
Then, like summertime-ish, right around summertime,
Okay.
called me and he was like, "Hey, welcome back and get in it."
I
Came
couldn't
back.
remember because we're 1 year off.
Yeah.
So I couldn't remember if you were on the sidelines my senior year or not.
Nope, I missed
I
it.
wanted to think you weren't.
Sad day.
I mean, that's the only season you've had off since the 2012-2013 basketball season here at West Greene. So you've been a part of the program a long time now. Let's talk about the basketball here of recent. You've had 2 games that we have to talk about. One resulted in a win, one resulted in a loss. You had the win. I think both were on the road, correct?
Yeah, both
You had
on the road.
one up there at Happy Valley that you took by the score of 79-34, and then one at Johnson County that you dropped by the score of 69-65. Dropped you back to a 4-3 record in the conference, but the good thing for you is that you still stay in that third place spot in the standings. And with South Green's win over Hampton last night, you still stay back at 2 games behind first place. So in the last week, a lot has changed. Take me through everything.
Yeah. So, I'll start with the Happy Valley game. We went to Happy Valley. We had 6 varsity players. Went up there shorthanded, some with the flu, some out injured. Just shorthanded. Pulled 2 JV guys up. Didn't even make it mandatory. We said, if you want to go to Happy Valley, go watch games, come support the varsity, come on. And had a couple show up and walked in. And one of the starters, he's actually starting, Alex Johnson, texted me like, I don't know, it's probably 1:30ish, 2 o'clock, texted me and said, "Coach, just got sent home from school with the flu." So, took that number down. I was like, okay. So, walk in, we're doing shoot around a little bit before we leave. Look around, I'm like, "Thomas, Reedy, y'all want to go?" It's like, dress out, play some varsity minutes. "Yeah, Coach." They jumped at it. We went up there. Probably, honestly, I'll say best game we've played in probably a month and a half.
I asked you off camera, too. It was a 45-point margin, and that might be the widest margin of victory by you as a head coach.
Yeah, and really, it was a total team effort. All 5 guys in the starting lineup had double digits. Had some guys that came in. I mean, Reedy got his first varsity bucket.
Awesome.
First possession in the game, too. Feeds the high post, cuts right off of it, throw it to him, a little flick layup.
Pretty special
Banged
moment.
it home, yeah. It was nice. Bench went crazy, crowd went crazy. It was good. But overall, just from top to bottom, played really, really good that game. Fixed our third quarter woes, kind of. Tried some different things there in the third quarter. Mixed some stuff up just to try to keep from having those 20-5 third quarters, because that's kind of been the story for the last 3 or 4 games. Terrible third quarter, terrible third quarter, terrible third quarter. We turned that around and fixed it. We just shoot the ball pretty decent. knock down some threes. Once you knock down some threes, they start really running at you
Confidence goes
hard.
higher.
Yeah, but we never settled. Still relied, got some middle touches, got some post touches. Tyler Shelton got his first start, came out and played really well. Timmy, which is Sam, came out of his little slump a little bit. He's actually had 2 pretty good games back-to-back here, which is good for us. He was in a bit of a slump there. I think now he's riding like a 3-game, getting into double figures now. And last night had a real good night. I think he had 25 last night against
Great
Johnson
night,
County.
man, yeah.
So I'm going to say career high as far as being a West Greene player, career high. I think he had a few 30-point games at Tyler and Oaks, maybe even a 40, I think.
That's wild.
So I think it's really helped him a lot to see the ball go in. He's kind of found some confidence in himself. Last night, oh, man, heartbreaker. Really a game. I thought we played well for most of the night. Fourth quarter, it's like a mental lapse happened almost. I took a 5-point lead with like 2.5 to go. Let a little guard get hot. I think he ended up making 5 threes in the fourth quarter alone.
Wow.
And we just didn't guard it well. Like I told him, I was like, guys, once somebody hits a couple, the rim goes from about this big to about this big. And everything you shoot feels like it's going to go in. And, I mean, that's just how it was. I mean, the last one he hit gave them the lead with like 57 seconds left. I don't know if you guys can see the volleyball line. He was about 1.5 steps behind the volleyball line.
About a foot in front of our stool right here.
Yeah. And shot with confidence. Knocked it down. But it was just kind of a little talk we had. Like, if somebody's feeling it like that, first of all, we're only down 2. What's a 2-pointer hurt us?
Yeah.
They go down. If he gets inside and he makes a tough bucket inside, good bucket. But with that being said, at that point, there's probably going to be, 40 seconds left on the clock at that point. You hold for 1 and you give yourself the last shot at the game. You make it, sweet, you win the game. You miss it, darn, you go to overtime, play more, pre-basketball. So overall, though, I mean, we just didn't finish that game. That's what it comes down to, is finishing. And we didn't finish that or close it out well. So gave us a loss and really tightened the conference up right there. And
Really did a lot.
yeah, did a lot. Standing wise, it's gonna be a
With
shuffle
South
there.
Greene beating Hampton, now you have, and we'll go ahead and talk about it too, because that was actually going to move into my next question, where the last 2 weeks I've asked you, how have you felt this very moment in time about your standings in the conference? Because we talked about, I think, after the 3rd game, after the 5th game, and now after the 7th game of your schedule. So it only makes sense to ask you each week as we wind down to the district tournament. But as things stand now, like you mentioned, it tightened to where I think Johnson County moved from being 3 games back to 2 games back. You stay at 2 games back, and now Hampton and South Greene are both tied for first place now. So it really did, or I'm sorry, Johnson County's 3 games back now.
Yeah.
They moved from 4 to 3, and then you sit back still at 2, and then Hampton and South Greene are both tied first and second right now. And there's a lot of ball left to play. Of course, some things have to work out in your favor. A lot of things would now with 3 games left and you being 2 games back. Johnson County's still creeping back there, as I mentioned, where they still have to host Hampton and I believe
Happy
Valley to close out their season. So, I mean, at this very moment right now, how are you feeling about the conference?
I mean, overall, we're banged up at the moment.
Yeah.
We're banged up. We're sick. Playing with little numbers. Right now, the number 1 goal for us is just to try to get healthy. Like I told you, I mean, I might sound like a broken record. I don't know. But I feel like when we're a healthy ball club and we're clicking, we're playing well, playing loose, and just playing free. And, I mean, that's another thing at Happy Valley. I didn't really say it. But that was the most loosest, I guess, I've seen them play. Smiling, having a good time, just playing.
Most free they've been out there on the court.
Just, honestly, I didn't even call many offensive sets that night.
It just kind of flowed well.
Just flowed. I said, guys, just play basketball. Just hoop and just play. And they kind of did. And we tried that at times last night. Times it worked, times it did not. And, I mean, it's not always going to be free. Like, you're not always going to get to go out there and just be like, have fun. Just play. Because, I mean, there's nights teams going to adjust we're going to fix things, and you're going to have to call set to try to get a good look or at least a bucket out of it. And it's just one of those things that didn't go well for us last night. But, I mean, at this point, West Greene's got to get back to 100%. I mean, we've got to get healthy. We've got to get over the sickness, got to get over injuries, got to get players back. I mean, we've had to cancel our last few JV games because we don't have enough guys to play it. So, yeah, that's my mindset at the moment. I feel like once we're a healthy team and everybody's back and everybody's full strength, then you can't overlook us, I don't feel like. And if you do overlook us, then it's a benefit to us, I feel like, at that point.
If you look at the conference last night was the most, I guess, the biggest shakeup throughout the season so far, because you look through every night that conference games have been played since Christmas when we started back on January 9th. You had the second-place team beat the first-place team, the fourth-place team beat the third-place team, and the sixth-place team beat the fifth-place team. That tightened a lot of things up because now, like I said, Johnson County moves from 4 games to 3 games back. You luckily stay at 2. Now we've got a 2-way tie for first, but now we've also got 2 teams tied for fifth now, where Chucky Dope, if they can squeak out a win the rest of the season, would jump from 6 to 5, and then they would play whoever is that 4 team in the district tournament and would avoid playing essentially South Greene, Hampton, or maybe Johnson County if they move up there to that third-place spot. So crazy night last night. I think this was the night that you can look back on, excuse me, once the season's over and say that was the night that really shook things up. With girls, the girls' conference, I've talked about on other interviews, it was really last Tuesday when West Greene walked in here and beat Hampton, and then a few other things happened. I think Johnson County beat South Greene that night. But for the boys, last night was the most altering night so far.
Yeah, I agree with that. And in basketball, I mean, it's whoever shows up that night.
Mm-hmm. Anybody can win on any given night.
You can't take any off nights in basketball. If you come in and you have a bad shooting night, you can get beat. But one thing, I guess, I don't know, it's kind of what we took away from last night. Even if you're shooting the ball poorly or you can't catch a ball to save your life, you can always play defense. And last night, that's kind of what we got away from. I mean, we scored right around our season average. Season average, we're sitting right at 63, 64 points a game. We had 65.
Okay.
But as far as giving up wise, we gave up 69, and that's just we're normally keeping people at least in the 50s, sometimes in the 40s. So just not a good defensive night for us. Or maybe Johnson County just had a really good offensive night.
Seems like every time they play in their gym, they shoot the lights out too.
Yeah, they
do. One thing I was going to mention, there's 2 places that I can think of off the top of my head that every time you go there and play, it's always something crazy or it's always a close game. Johnson County is one of those places too.
And Unaca's the other one.
Unaca, okay, there's 3. I was going to say North Greene is another one.
Okay, yeah, there's 3.
It's always a single-digit game that has something crazy boiled down to the end. So Johnson County is one of those places every time you go up there, something crazy happens. And it seemed to be that way last night, but I'm sure you're glad to have that trip over with now because you got the trip over with, that was A, and then B, of course, it came down to another chaotic close finish.
Yeah, it did. We even had a shot to made a decision. We got the ball in bounds. We had 40-some seconds left. Got the ball in bounds. Elijah actually had a wide open lane. And when he went, attacked, before it ever happened, we take timeout and go for 3, or we try to get a quick 2. Maybe they miss a free throw, miss 2 free throws. You never know. I mean, that's quite a bit of time. Mm-hmm. Take a timeout and go for a 3, or see what we can get downhill. And on the inbounds play, I mean, Elijah popped wide open, honestly, right in this area. Attacked downhill, and we just we didn't handle the pass well. I don't know if it was a little low, got tipped. I'm not really sure, but ended up not getting a layup out of it. So, just one of those things you take. Maybe I should have called the timeout. Maybe I should have went for 3, went for the tie. But you live and you learn. So we'll move on to the next game. Can't dwell on this one too much. We got a stretch coming up that is brutal.
That's what I was going to say. You've got, I've mentioned it already before, you have another thick part of your schedule coming up to where you have 4 games in 5 days and one being senior night, and then
Queen of Hearts on Monday.
Woo,
2 conference games, 3 conference games.
2 conference games,
2.
and then by the time we sit down next week, you'll have 1 conference game left against Hampton and 2 games total. So we're coming down to the end now. You've only got a handful of games left, but as always, before we get into those, we need to get a word from our sponsors first. So we'll be right back to talk about that handful of games here in just a minute here on Grassroots Media.
Bayleton Drug Company services the surrounding communities of Bayleton with excellent patient care using a full-line pharmacy, over-the-counter selections, and a convenient drive-thru. When you visit us, you are treated as a neighbor, not a number. It's not just our slogan, but our culture. We're investing in our patients, local schools, and community. For over 5 years now, we have established ourselves as an independently family-run pharmacy that isn't driven by corporate goals. We are driven by what is best for your overall health and wellness. We're conveniently located so you don't have to make the drive. Prescription drugs are just the tip of the iceberg. We also offer natural remedies, essential oils, at-home medical needs such as walkers, rollators, bath accessories, as well as wound care products. And coming soon, basic urgent care services. What makes us better than other drugstores out there? When you frequent Bayleton Drug, you will receive professional, courteous, and friendly service that goes above and beyond any other pharmacy in the area. Remember, you're a neighbor, not a number.
Pizza, pancakes, or donuts, the Davy Crockett Travel Center in Bayleton has the cure for all your cravings. While you're there, shop our general store for souvenirs, gifts, and cellular accessories. In a hurry, grab a cold drink and a hot dog to go. Check us out on Facebook and come to Bayleton.
For more than 30 years, Tommy's Plumbing has served customers in East Tennessee with licensed and professional plumbing services. From installing your new faucet to replacing your existing piping system, our team at Tommy's Plumbing is trained to handle the job with professionalism, attention to detail, and integrity. By offering warranties on most products installed by our technicians, Tommy's Plumbing stands behind our work, ensuring that your plumbing needs are not only met, but that your problem is solved for the long term. When you need reliable and professional plumbing service, Tommy's is the only call to make. So give us a call today and let us show you the Tommy's difference.
Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Malone Tracker Service Alan Tolliver Show, presented by Critters Corner, where we cover everything here on the court with the West Greene Buffaloes basketball team. As always, I'm joined here with West Greene head coach Alan Tolliver. We've got fantasy vibe this week.
And
we
I'm
keep
not
talking
excited.
about cosmic vibe, and I think the anticipation for those that want us to try cosmic vibe continues to grow each and every week. We're sorry we haven't tried it yet, but we've got to get fantasy vibe out of the way because it's the one that we're looking forward to the least, and it is probably the most polarizing because it is sparkling Mandarin Marshmallow Edition.
But dude, the little graphic on it is kind of sick.
The graphic's cool because it's got palm trees, the sun. It's
Some leaves
kind of
over
like
there.
a blood orange and red. You see the little 2 orange slices on the bottom, but nowhere do you see
A marshmallow.
marshmallow or anything. So I don't know where the marshmallow comes from, but
Unless it's those clouds
I don't know.
up there.
I'm anxious to try this one. I'm eager to try it too, so
I'm
we're
not
going to get right
excited.
into it.
You never crack it open that fast.
It looks like a
Looks orange.
juice, like
Sparkling juice.
yeah, it's kind of like a. You drink like the Dole juices,
No.
like strawberry. Okay, I didn't know if you did or not, but
Are you ready?
Sure looks like that. Let's see.
Oh, what's the
sip.
smell? It smells like
Odd.
a marshmallow.
Odd.
I smell marshmallow.
That is odd.
I don't have hopes.
I don't either. Speaking of one of our biggest fans, Matthew Palazzo, I think he mentioned that the orange Celsius was one of his favorites.
Really? What,
Yeah.
Matthew? Give us your top 3 of
Give
what
us your
you
top
tried.
3.
Of what you tried. I want to see if you agree with me or Nichols more. Preferably me.
This is going to be,
I
I don't know. Let's go for it.
Bro, that is bad. If you say that's good, I'm judging you. I mean, I even took 2 gulps right there.
I took 3.
Dude, that's pretty terrible.
I never thought we'd have this conversation.
This might be worse than cola.
This might be worse than cola. Yeah, this is bad.
Yeah, it's bad, bad.
This is bad.
It's bad, bad. I'm going to text this person back and tell them that I'm on a coach's show.
Fantasy Vibe, Sparkling Mandarin, and Marshmallow. This might be the lowest score that we see handed out. I keep trying to drink it to convince myself to like it. I just don't like it.
That is not a very good flavor. And if I'm going on a rating
1 to
scale,
10 scale?
1 to 10, like, dude,
2.
I don't know what I ranked cola at on a 1 to 10 scale. But
I think we what's the word I'm looking for? Not theoretically.
I'm not sure
whatever.
what you're looking for.
We did it a few weeks ago where we thought, like, what would we rank cola? I think you said 3, maybe.
Dude, this is terrible. Like,
That's a 2 for me.
I wouldn't
I'm
give this
sorry.
to my dog or my cat.
I think
or
the beginning taste of it, you get the small hint of orange, which may be the only reason it's a 2. But once that marshmallow aftertaste hits your mouth and just overwhelms the orange, it's an immediate turnoff.
Yeah, no, it's not it. That's not it. I'm
going 2.
I mean, I'll stick with your 2 just because it's the worst
That's
one I've
bad.
had.
That's wow. I never thought we'd have one worse than
This is
cola.
one I'm not sure I finish.
I can drink a flat Coca-Cola, which is essentially what Celsius Cola tastes like, but this is utter garbage.
Yeah,
like this is
no.
bad.
This is-
and I don't like to speak negatively about things, but
No.
This is-
And if Celsius ever wants to sponsor us, I might like change my opinion. Like, oh yeah, that's really good, guys. You should try it.
I ain't changing my opinion on it.
That's terrible. That's a 2, maybe a 1.
Yeah, and it's unfortunately still in my mouth too, which
Yeah.
is gonna stick for the rest of the interview.
I did have cookout for lunch. I could go there and like grab my sweet tea, cut the show. I can get your Baja Blast.
That's bad. I think I can survive, but Lord.
I will not
Fantasy
finish
Vibe.
that one.
2.
I will not finish that one.
That one's worse than cola. Crazy.
I mean, when I saw it had marshmallow in it,
Once I saw marshmallow, I knew red flag immediately, but sometimes you're very surprised by the taste of some weird
Matthew.
combinations, but
if you're wondering, I wouldn't suggest this one, bud.
5 thumbs down.
Yeah, no. And if you like it,
To each their own.
yeah, props
But-
to you. But that's pretty bad.
That's bad.
It's probably going to be the least amount of time we've spent talking about one.
It might be the most just talking about how bad it is.
True, too.
Yeah. Either way, moving on. Fantasy Vibe. Bottom of the barrel.
As Reed would say. Oh, no, you watched the Trailer Trash podcast.
I hadn't yet. I need to. I watched clips when they did the live stream of the Georgia-Tennessee game
Yeah.
because it was a room full of Georgia and Tennessee fans.
What a terrible room.
That's always an intriguing room to be a part of or view, but I've not seen many. What's Reed say?
Dude, so he got to be a star on the show.
With the mohawk and everything,
With
too.
the mohawk, all that snaggletooth. He's 5 years old and he's already missing 5 teeth.
That's all right.
But no, this kid, he gets on there and he played basketball for the Y
Okay.
last year. So I went and I got him a pair of basketball shoes. He was ready to go. Turns out Reed does not love basketball.
Oh.
Like his Uncle Al likes basketball. So they're on this podcast and he keeps telling everybody he's going to be a professional golf baller.
Golf baller.
Golf baller.
Nice.
So terminology not there yet, but he's getting there. But they start talking about basketball. He said basketball, thumbs down. He said cookies, thumbs up.
Thumbs up?
Yeah. And I was like, I'm all for the cookies, thumbs up, but you will not catch me saying basketball, thumbs down.
That's 2 thumbs up for Uncle Al.
Yeah, that's 2 thumbs up. Worst part is they're going to make a T-shirt of it.
Hey, maybe soon, maybe one day you'll get 1 thumbs up, and that's better than 2 thumbs down.
Yeah, I mean, I could substitute the basketball for this marshmallow fantasy vibe here.
Yeah, 2 thumbs down.
Yeah, but I ain't putting no basketball. That's the worst part. They're going to try to guilt me into buying a shirt because my nephew put a slogan on a T-shirt. It's not happening, though. Can't put that on.
So disappointed with how bad this was. Moving forward,
That was bad.
you got a thick part of your schedule coming up now.
Thanks. The
I usually can
remainder of my
remember-
season is good night. I'm a popular guy.
You are a popular
This is
guy.
Coach Bo. Do we want Coach Bo to jump on the show?
Well, warn them first before they do come on the show.
Coach Bo, before you say anything, you're on speakerphone and you are on the coach's show. So that whatever you say will be published in front of the entire world. Well, I'm really glad that I did not have you on speaker for that to be broadcasted. Oh, but no, I will call you back in just a few minutes. See you.
It's a pretty popular time to call all the coaches this week. I think I've had 4 phone calls during the only 3 coaches shows that I've done so far this week. So it's been pretty popular to call the coaches during the shows this week.
Yeah, it has. I feel like I at least get a phone call a week.
You got one earlier, I think, that you didn't answer.
Yeah, I didn't answer.
So, yeah, I guess that'd be 5.
Yeah.
But thick part of your schedule, I had to bring it up because you've got so many games, I couldn't remember them all.
Dude, 4 games in 5 days.
4 games in 5 days. Again, we spoke about that a few weeks ago. I don't think you played all the 4 in 5 days, did you?
No, because we didn't play
Previous time,
United.
You didn't play Unique on that Monday. So, hoping you get all 4 in this time. You host South Greene Friday. You host Hancock County for senior night on Saturday.
Yep.
You host Cherokee on Monday for Queen of Hearts, and then you're at Chucky Doak on Tuesday. A lot of things going into this stretch because, of course, with Queen of Hearts and senior night, there's a lot of outside things going on that may affect their focus and everything. You've got 4 games in 5 days, which is very tiring. Fatigue will set in along with sickness and injuries. So going into this stretch, I mean, what can you tell me about everything?
Survive.
Survive.
I mean, like
Just
you said.
make it to next week's coach's show. We'll see how it is.
Make it to next week. Make it to next week healthier than what we are now. Not a lot of time for recovery here for the
No,
sicknesses.
not at all.
Like you said, 4 games in 5 days, only rest day being a Sunday. Means you're going into this with no practices. You can't prep for 4 games with 1 practice because, as you know, we didn't get to have practice today because so many's out sick. So 1 practice, and that leaves you a prep day for South Greene, which is your upcoming game.
Yep.
Saturday is senior night, so I mean you got to hope that all your seniors stay healthy. Your kids that are injured/sick make it back for their games, and then you get a Sunday off. But as you know, you don't
Can't
practice on Sunday.
yeah.
There's no prep. There's no getting shots up. Then you go into Monday against Cherokee, which was a game that was a buzzer beater win for us last time, and a pretty tough place to play. And then Tuesday you go to Hampton, which is arguably, probably, maybe one of the toughest places to play now that
You
they're
mean
in the
Friday?
Is that Friday?
Yeah.
Oh, Tuesday's Chucky
Chucky
Doak.
which
Yeah, I've got
take your
those
pick.
backwards. Yeah.
Take your pick.
Coach Shaw had me all confused last night going to Johnson County. She had me convinced that Hampton was Tuesday and Chucky Doak was Friday. So, yeah, that's my fault. But, no. So, yeah, we get to go to Chucky Doak. And I can't tell you the last time we've won a game at Chucky Doak.
2021? Yeah.
Yeah.
That season. Your last year as an assistant, I believe.
Yeah. So, definitely not an easy place to play. I mean, they played us all the way down to the wire here. We barely escaped that one. So,
Just knocked off Happy Valley, so
yeah,
their confidence is riding a little higher. They played Hampton to a single-digit margin all the way up to the end. So, at the halfway point last week, it seems they've turned a corner a little bit, and they've improved a lot.
Oh, definitely. And, yeah, I mean, there's not an easy game in this next 4-game stretch. Right now, though, I mean, we'll focus on South Greene, get ready for Friday night, huge conference game. Kind of said it in a few of the other shows, but I don't feel like we've had a home game in forever.
Yeah.
So, just got to protect your home court. Do what you can do. Hopefully play our game. Let's not turn it around and try to play their game with them. If we play our type of game, our type of basketball, I think we've got a good shot going into it. And Saturday, I mean, you know, Saturday senior festivities. Kind of glad. I mean, I've never had a Saturday senior night.
But well, there's something else we could talk about too of why it is Saturday now.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and tell you that. Clinch canceled on us. Just sent me a text, said, hey, we got to cancel because we're making up a different game that night. Okay, sounds good. So that kind of left us scrunched for time because, we got 2 home games left now with them canceling. That leaves us with
Saturday or Monday.
Saturday or Monday. Monday's Queen of Hearts.
So you don't want to do 2 on top of each
No,
other.
because you know how the Queen of Hearts is. I mean, it's going to be people lined up and down the floor dressed up right here. And then what are you going to do, turn right around and do senior night? I mean, you're going to have a Monday night game that's you're not going to walk out of the gym until what? 10:30? So, you couldn't do that. So that's why we did end up picking Saturday. But I am looking forward to it, I guess. I'm going to kind of maybe come in early that day, bring some food in, just kind of celebrate those seniors, bring in some Xbox, PS5s, kind of deal, get together, have fun, maybe walk through, have a little shoot around, just discuss kind of what Hancock might do. We've played them twice already. So just discuss some of the things they do, some of the plays they run, and what they like to do defensively. And then really, I guess, just celebrate those seniors, man. That's what that night's all about. And be huge to send them out with a win on their senior night, and really just looking forward to it. But like I said, I don't want to get too far in front of the buggy there because, Friday night's crucial for us.
Most important one at the moment.
Yeah, most important. So we'll worry about Friday at the moment. We kind of know what they've got. And we play them every year, so twice a year. Sometimes we've played them 3 to 4 times a year. So they're coached very well. We had a double-digit lead at one point. Going into half, we had a double-digit lead.
And then they turn it around to a double-digit win.
Come out and turn around to a double-digit win. So Hosey definitely knows how to get those guys motivated, ready to play. And we're just going to have to be on our A game, be ready for Friday night.
We had the I guess, I don't know what you call it, turned around last week to where we could see the senior banners behind us. This week we're flipped around, but we can talk about the senior banners this week. Luckily, you can look at them right here and talk about them one by one from left to right. But with senior night being on Saturday, it's crazy how we're already talking about the seniors. Usually it doesn't feel like we're in January talking about a senior night. But
no, but I mean, that's the crazy part, really. I mean, I guess really it's going to be what, the first day in February, second day in February? February 1st.
February 2nd, February 1st. Yeah, February 1st will be your
1st.
senior night. So when
So
you have senior night on February 1st, this Saturday against Hancock County, you've got 4 seniors up there that you'll recognize on the court. So talk about each of them and what they've brought to the program over their time here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess I'll start with Sam Wascarver. I've only had him for 1 year. He's a guy that he did some like homeschool, virtual, not really virtual, Christian schools type stuff, and grew up in the Mohawk community. He actually played for the middle school for a little bit, and he played for that Heritage Homeschoolers Association League. He played there for his first 3 years. Spectacular kid, comes from a really good family, really good basketball player. First day he came in for practice this summer, he fit in right away. I don't think I've ever looked up and he's not been around Stretch, Braden. He's always with one of the guys. And, he just came in and he's fit right in with us. It's not been any trouble, no issues, no jealousy, nothing like that. So just a super good kid, great basketball player. I think he's helped us tremendously. He's took us up a notch from what we could have been. And just super kid. Never back talks. Never. If I tell him, if I was like, oh, Sam, go sit beside your papa and eat some popcorn while we do this possession, he'd be like, huh? I go eat some popcorn? Okay. He'd walk over and eat popcorn. You just never have to worry about it. And really with all these seniors, you don't have to worry about anything with them. They're all super good kids. And then Connor Campbell comes, I guess all these kids come from a good family. Been here since he was a freshman. Really, he started games as a sophomore. He was an on and off starter as a sophomore. Been a huge part of the program. Saw a lot of growth out of him from his freshman year on. When he first came in, he can still shoot the ball, but he's found other assets to his game, and he cuts well, he moves well without the ball. He takes these spurts of either he has no fouls
Or he has a lot of fouls.
or he has a lot of fouls. There's no in between. It's like I'm either going to pick up 2 in the first quarter, or I'm not going to pick up my first one until the fourth quarter with like 2 minutes to go.
Gotcha.
There's just no in between with him. But no, super good kid. I think I've played golf with like half of them up there, just randomly. We went with him this year before his district tournament up there, the Crossings. We went and played golf. So just a super good kid, always smiling. Not always. Most of the time he's smiling. And then you got
Depends
Alex.
how many fouls he has.
Yeah, it depends on how many fouls he has. That really does. It depends on his smile. If he's fouling, bad. Thumbs down. Reed would say thumbs down. Yeah. But then you got Alex. He played since he was a sophomore. He didn't play his freshman year. He was a football guy. Talked him into it. He came out. And at first, he was green. Didn't know a whole lot about basketball. He was new to it. But that dude has never gave up. He's never quit. I've watched him try to practice through sickness. I mean, he recently got sick before we went to Happy Valley, as I said early. The day before, I mean, he did not feel good. He threw up twice in practice. I asked him multiple times. I was like, "You all right, dude?" Yeah, coach. I'm good. He was excited. He was getting to start, play big minutes, and ended up got sent home from school that day with the flu. But I mean, he tries to push through everything. He's a tough kid. If you want somebody to go to battle, if you turn around and be like, "Hey, I'm about to fight somebody," Alex is who you want to have behind you, because he's right there with you. Super good kid, full energy, full life, always joking around. Good guy to have. And then you got Braden McCamey. He's transformed from, remember his freshman year. I was like, he's going to turn out, he's going to be a good post player, stretch out for me a little bit. He has worked his tail off, got into good shape, moves well. His freshman year, didn't really count on him to finish up front a lot in the sprints. Now, if you get out here, say go, B can be in the front anytime. And he's a good leader. He pushes people. He sees things on the floor, come over, Coach, I see this. Just a really smart kid, great athlete. I mean, he's not the only 3-sport athlete, I guess. Connor's a golfer.
Yeah,
golfer, basketball, baseball. Brando is a football, basketball, baseball guy. Never misses, shows up, plays through injuries. He got hurt. The first time we played South Greene, he wasn't 100%. He was a little banged up from a sledding accident and pulled through, toughed through it, and played. I mean, played almost most of the game. But overall, I mean, out of all 4 of them, man, I wouldn't trade anything for him. You can come in here and say, I'll give you this kid for that kid. I wouldn't trade any of them for nothing. They show up every day. They're never late. They show up early. They get here early. They lead practice. Good leaders. Younger kids kind of look up to them, and just what you really want your seniors to be. And I'm glad my young guys have got them guys to look up to.
I think that does it on this edition. You've got all 4 of the seniors in, got the preview in. Not even going to mention the beginning of the second part.
Dude, I could just kick that off the stool right now.
I thought about putting it behind my chair to take it out of everybody's view, but then me grabbing it and put it back here, that brings more attention to it. So we just let it be. Just flip the label around. That way they just know it's a Celsius. They don't know which kind.
Celsius.
Don't go out and try
Celsius, if you want to sponsor us, you still got time.
Yeah, just don't do fantasy. Just don't make us try this one again.
Yeah, don't send this one back.
Football. The Super Bowl.
Oh, man, my Commanders went down. Not really my Commanders, just Jaden Daniels.
They got smoked when I didn't expect them to get smoked.
Saquon smoked them.
Saquon.
Saquon beat them.
He's having one of, if not the greatest rushing seasons we've ever seen. And he didn't get the rushing record, but if we look at regular season plus playoff games, I'd like to go back and see where he's at on those lists. I mean, he's been, and you look at the amount of times he's gotten tackled at the 1 or the 2, and they've used the brotherly shove to get Jalen Hurts a rushing touchdown. The amount of times that he could get a touchdown with those extra yards is absolutely insane. I mean, you may not like the Eagles, but at the end of the day, Saquon's one guy. It is hard to not like him.
Yeah, I mean, when do you look at him and he's not
happy, joyful,
he's having a good time.
You saw the film of Coach Sirianni coming over to him saying he's 13 yards away from his personal record. He said, let the young guys go and eat.
Yeah.
And then goes and smashes that record 2 more times later in the year like it was nothing. Like, it's incredible to watch him play football.
But that's the guys you root for, though.
Yeah.
Like,
But it's hard to root for the Eagles, though, at the same
I will
time.
not say go Eagles, but I'll say go Saquon.
I'll say go Saquon.
I will say this, though. I will be go Dirty Birds for this week. Not this week, next week. Whenever the Super Bowl is.
Anybody but the Chiefs now,
If the Chiefs win, dude.
This would be the first time in the Super Bowl era that a team would win 3 straight. It could be the first ever three-peat in the Super Bowl era. I don't want it to happen.
I don't want to think about it.
I don't either,
really
because
don't.
then that means that we've got to suffer through another Philly sports championship.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to be climbing on top of the light poles, and Philly's going to get even more crazier than it already is.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Couldn't have been Buffalo, man.
That's what I said. Poor Josh Allen, dude.
Detroit was supposed to be here, man. They got boat raced too.
Yeah.
Man, the NFL playoffs always don't go as expected, but
Man, there's only one team that could have saved all this. If they just didn't suck it up to start the year. The Bengals.
the Bengals, I want the Bengals to get back to playing meaningful playoff football because
Dude, until they get a defense. I mean, that's the LSU story.
Yeah.
They're just
it
like
really
LSU.
is, yeah.
Well, maybe I need to stop liking both of those teams. Just become secret fan.
I don't know.
Maybe they'll have a defense again.
Could.
Doubt it.
They had a good defense the year they won it in 2019, though, didn't
Yeah.
they? Yeah. Patrick Queen.
Grant Delpit.
Who was the linebacker? Devin
White wasn't there. It was
Was he not?
Patrick Quinn.
Was he the year before?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was 2017 draft.
Mm-hmm.
2018 draft.
Yeah, 18.
18 draft because he
Yeah.
missed the championship team by 1 year.
And then you had Jacoby Stevens, a Tennessee boy.
Okay.
He's from Oakland.
I feel like there was one more big name I'm forgetting about.
Michael
I knew
Divinity?
Queen, Delpit.
Derek Stingley.
Stingley, yes. That's who it was. He was a top 10 pick, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he might be the best corner in the league.
He's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, and you know he wanted to play both ways?
Really?
Like, that was his pitch to get him to LSU.
Play both ways?
Coach O was going to let him play both ways. And then after his freshman year, he's like,
He didn't have a spot on the receiving core.
no. He told it. Well, with that team anyway, who is he going to go in over?
No, he wasn't going to go over any of them. You had 3 NFL-level receivers right there.
They are 3 in there. Yeah.
You've got the two best
two of
wide
them the
receivers
best.
in the NFL. That team's so generational, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you're lucky to even be a fan because we throw the term generational around too loosely nowadays, but that truly was a
Dude.
generational team. The 2 best wide receivers in the NFL
I
were
saw
on the
something.
same college team.
Yeah, I saw something on Twitter the other day. Said this Ohio State team would destroy the 2019 LSU team.
There's only one team I've ever personally watched that might, and that was the Alabama team the year after.
I don't think they touch it.
But that's a weird team. I've seen some people
Mainly
rank
because I
that
think the
team-
Alabama team before them was better than the year after.
I don't, just because they lost too many weird games that year. The LSU game's understandable. You lose to LSU, who people
Yeah.
point as the greatest of all time, but people also forget they lost to Auburn like 2 weeks later.
Because LSU broke them.
And then I can't remember who they played in their bowl game that year. I think they lost it too.
Yeah, but a bunch sat out.
Did they?
Yeah.
With Alabama, though, Alabama's got 5 stars in the 3rd and 4th spots on their roster, though.
Yeah, they
So
do.
Alabama's one of those teams, even if you're down 1 or 2.
Not anymore, though.
Not anymore. Nope. You got a lot of transfers out, and Kalen DeBoer's seat's already starting to warm up.
It's
a little
warm
bit.
already.
It's already warm.
It's warm.
It was warm as soon as he took the job.
Yeah.
Following Nick Saban, but it's hard to follow in the footsteps of one of the greatest, if not the greatest of all time. You know who has done a good job with doing that though?
Who's that?
John Shire.
I'll give you that.
John Shire has done a good job. You know who hasn't done a good job? Hubert Davis. To all my Carolina fans out there, I'm not sorry you got to go through it. I'm loving every second of it. But hey, just make it through this year. Hubert won't be there next year.
You don't think so?
Nope.
I think they give him one more year.
I think they gave him too many years.
Caleb Love carried him to at least 2 more years.
You had the team 2 years ago that people were asking him to get fired then, and he saved his job with a national championship game appearance as like an
Actually,
8.
Brady Manick carried him to that one.
Baycott carried him to that one. Baycott had a double-double in every tournament game and set some kind of record.
Who'd they beat?
If you really look
Who'd
at
they
it,
beat the game?
they beat Baylor in that round of 32 game.
Yeah, they did. Well, they were up big, and they ended up winning by like 5.
Was it that Baylor game?
Yeah. Because Baylor was that 1 seed.
They were, I think, the 8 seed.
It was 8
The
and 1.
8 or 9.
And then they
'cause had to beat the
destroyed
one.
St. Peter's.
They beat them in the
Sweet 16. Or was it Elite,
Elite 8.
8?
Can't
Elite
remember
8.
who they beat in the Sweet 16. Yeah, I know
Marquette?
Maybe.
No,
I
was
think
it?
you might be right. I think it might have been Marquette.
The
That
only
rings a
reason I
bell.
know this because I was on TikTok and I saw Cinderella runs.
That rings a bell. And then Final Four, we forget about that game. And the national title game,
Kansas.
They got beat by Kansas. Yeah, I think it was the largest national championship deficit that a team has overcome to win it.
Yeah.
But enough crapping on Carolina.
Go Tigers.
I don't want to do it too much to them. They're already in a tough spot as it is.
What about Will Wade, man?
Dude, he's carrying McNeese State.
He is. If he didn't
Crazy.
stay at LSU, man, I'm telling you.
I saw him. I think somebody posted it yesterday.
Him dancing in the locker room?
Yep.
Yeah.
And they were like, what, 30-2 in their last 2 seasons in conference games? Yeah.
He's a good coach. He just likes to toss money around, which is legal now, so it's okay.
Yeah, you go back and look at all the coaches I have in the past that weren't caught or weren't penalized. I think sometimes they pick and choose.
Yeah.
Will
Sadly.
Wade at LSU, Sean Miller at Arizona got caught. Can't think of many other huge programs that really got caught. Bruce Pearl with the
Tennessee?
cookout incident.
I don't understand
Tennessee.
that one, though.
I
It's
never
a
understood
cookout.
that one either. Penny Hardaway got in trouble because he helped, I think, James Wiseman move or something like
Move
that.
schools, and he went to
He went to
Memphis
the school
East.
that he coached anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. I don't know. Sometimes NCAA doesn't make sense.
Didn't they
NIL
win
doesn't
like
make sense
3 high
anymore
school
either.
titles, though? Or
They
4?
didn't win 4 because Bearden upset them in the championship that year with
Quez?
Quez Glover and Drew Pember.
Yeah.
Because I remember that it was a big hyped up 4A championship game because you had the number 1 player in the nation committed to Memphis, and then you had 2 players committed to Florida and Tennessee on the opposing team. And in this great state of Tennessee, you don't see that often.
No, not often.
I mean, you had a nationally ranked team in 4A last year in Bartlett, and I think their best player that was ranked went to Arkansas State.
Yeah.
So it's rare that you see teams.
They didn't even make the state championship game.
No, they got beaten in the
They got beat by
Final
Cookville.
Four, yeah.
That was a great game.
It was a great game. I sat there and watched the 4th quarter of that.
Our boys from Indy got it done.
I liked Independence. Independence was a cool team to watch last year.
Dude, Jet Montgomery.
Jet Montgomery and Tylen
Lewis?
I think Lewis.
Yeah,
Great team to watch.
they were. I saw them at the Arby's. That's why I kind of kept
Yeah.
up with them a little bit.
Me too.
Yeah.
That was a cool game. Poor Jet, I think he got concussed that game.
It still played.
Maybe we shouldn't mention that.
Yeah, he didn't get concussed. But that's all I got.
That's all we got this week.
Don't drink it.
Don't drink
I didn't even
Fantasy
say the
Bible.
name.
No.
Don't drink it.
That's all we got. Got a thick part of your schedule coming up. Hopefully next time we sit down, you're healthier next week than you are now.
Well,
And hopefully get a few more wins by then too. But Coach, that's all I've got for you this week.
Appreciate
Thank
it,
you once
bud.
again. Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Malone Tracker Service Alan Tolliver Show, presented by Critters Corner. Look forward to seeing you next week here on Grassroots Media.